Fathers, be good to your daughters. Daughters will love like you do. And I was blessed to have not one but two fathers. One that I couldn't look more like, and one that I couldn't look less like. One that I saw on weekends, and one that I saw 6 days a week from the time I was about 6 or 7 years old. So you guessed which one had more impact on me. Fathers teach their children. They challenge them, they nurture them, they help them see past their own self-imposed limitations. They protect and they teach them in the spirit of vulnerability, commitment, and selflessness. And Mr. Parker very much did that for me. When I was about 7 years old, we were at an all-careers meet, and one of the young ladies on the senior team got injured, girls that were 17, 18, 19 years old. And so, unbeknownst to me, he told them that he wanted me to fill in a 7-year-old. So I think their strategy was that if they got out fast enough, they would be able to get far enough ahead that I could just hold on for that last 400 meters of the 4x400 relay. So they handed me the baton, and it was an insurmountable lead, but I did get caught at the tape. But they were so happy that I held on as long as they did. They caught me at the finish line and carried me off the field and placed me on the grass so that I could recover. And Mr. Parker walked over, and in his very unassuming way, he said, "Now you know what it feels like to run fast." And he bumped me on the forehead and said, "Don't forget it, kid." In all of our time together, oftentimes fathers answer those difficult questions, and sometimes they can range from the sublime to the ridiculous, and Mr. Parker and I spent a lot of time together. Driving to me, flying to me, waiting, planning, strategizing, watching. And in those times, he allowed me to really pick his brain, and one time I thought I was asking him a very profound question. I said, "Mr. Parker, if you could coach someone who had an endless reservoir of talent, but all they wanted to do was win, would you coach them, or would you coach the person who really wanted to get better, but maybe wasn't that good of an athlete?" And he didn't even pause. He said, "Oh, easily, the one who really wanted to get better." He said, "Because in the end, it's not about the talent you have." He said, "It's about your ability to take what you have and do the best you can with it. And in that way, you're all winners, regardless of the reservoir of talent that you have." And I believe that's Fathers gently encourage their daughters. And sometimes they gently encourage their daughters with a swift kick in the behind. In 1984, Mr. Parker posed a question to me. I was 17 years old here at Mills High School, and he posed a question that would change my life. He said, "Do you want to take your primary event, the 100 hurdles, and the 400 meters, which I also did, and merge them and make the 400 hurdles?" And so I'm like, okay, you pretty much haven't done everything else, shot put, long jump, high jump, you name it, we did it all with Coach Parker. Little did I know that he actually had been planning that move since I was about 10 years old. But it was in this year that we were going to actually execute the strategy. So we put together two parallel lists. One had all of the elite hurdlers throughout the nation and the world that we call our hit list. And the other was the execution list. The execution list was things that I was supposed to accomplish from week to week, race to race. So I'm going to let you in a little bit of secret. When you're lining up against other people, at least in track and field, you know who you're lining up against. And when I say you know who you're lining up against, I mean, you know who's clean and you know who's not. I could look down the track and say, clean, 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 dirty, clean, clean, dirty, dirty, clean. Okay? It was just like that. So in this one race, I ended up losing to two girls that were not clean. And I came off the track, threw my spikes down, and I'm pissed off to the heights of passivity. And I said, "Mr. Parker, I can't believe it. I'm going on and on." And he said, "Leslie, you got one lane to run in." And I said, "Okay." He said, "You have one lane to run in, and that's all you need to be worried about. Don't worry about what anyone else is doing in their lane. If you had executed the way you could have executed, the way you planned for you to execute, the way you should have executed, we wouldn't be having this conversation now. So don't worry about what's going on in those other lanes. Because for those girls, they'll do anything to win. And when you do anything to win, you will do anything to win. You define winning for yourself, you push yourself to do the best you can, and no one can ever take that away from you. And I've taken that into every area of my life. Probably one of the most profound lessons my father taught me.